Um, right, so hi, my name's Karl Ramos. I'm a third year undergraduate psychology student at Newcastle Uni. Oh wait, I was, I've finished now. Um, the title of my project is The Relationship Between the Dark Triad, Aggression and Antisocial Behaviour in Athletes. So in terms of the background of my project, it started with the link between the two dependent variables. So we've got hostile aggression and antisocial behaviour. So these two factors contribute to the social problem of violence in sport. Furthermore, aggression and antisocial behaviour have shown to be important factors in athlete success, which shows the vital role they play in a sporting context. Um, Research has identified personality as a key concept underpinning aggression and antisocial behaviour. Therefore, aspects of an individual's personality can contribute to a better understanding of these two behaviors. So, personality has evolved into an important component of sports psychology. However, the darker side of an individual's personality is less well documented. Um, so, Williams and Powhouse formulated a dark triad of personality traits. So, basically, consists of three traits: Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. They have a really callous, manipulative core and have been linked previously with variables such as violence and a lack of empathy. Interestingly enough, these few variables, these three traits have been empirically associated with aggression and antisocial behavior outside of sport. However, in the context of sport, these three variables have not been examined. So based on this, the research aims of my project were to investigate the relationship between the dark triad, aggression, and antisocial behavior, and also whether the individual traits of the dark triad were predictors of antisocial behavior and aggression in sport. So, a better understanding of the personality factors that influence these potentially harmful variables can aid sports psychologists in formulating more effective interventions. Um, So the study followed a cross-sectional design and the participants were 90 athletes. And the results showed multiple positive significant correlations between the dark triad, aggression, and antisocial behavior. Out of the dark triad traits, Machiavellianism and psychopathy were significant positive predictors of particular aggression and antisocial behavior subscales. And the strongest result produced in my study was the dark triad being a significant positive predictor of antisocial behavior towards opponents. So, consistent with previous research in the field, the dark triad predicted aggression and antisocial behavior. There was a slight difference in the predictive values of the traits in the dark triad. So, this could have been explained by the concept of the dark dyad. This is basically the idea that Machiavellianism and psychopathy are extremely similar and therefore will produce results that are very close. However, narcissism is a bit different. It's a different facet of the dark triad and could be the reason it did not show any significance as a predictor. Another noteworthy result was that the dark triad was a stronger predictor of antisocial behavior towards opponents rather than teammates. So this can be explained by the callously manipulative nature of the dark triad traits. So an individual who scores highly in the dark triad is more likely to use teammates to manipulate, use them in their manipulative schemes in order to gain success, and therefore will not want to act antisocially towards them. However, as I'm sure many of you know, in sports, opponents are almost seen as a barrier to success and could be why the antisocial behavior is more directed towards them. My study had a few notable limitations. Firstly, the sample included both elite and non-elite athletes, and research has shown that testosterone, which is a big influence on aggression, is different in these two groups. In addition, the cross-sectional design limited the study's conclusions to an association or correlation level. However, this presents future research avenues to explore. So, for example, um, conducting a longitudinal study investigating whether the dark triad is a cause of aggression and antisocial behaviour would be an example of a study. And also we could restrict the sample size, so the sample just to elite or non-elite athletes. So say we restricted it to elite athletes, you could find out how to cut out these potentially harmful behaviours and perhaps increase their sporting success. So to conclude, the present study demonstrated that the darker side of an athlete's personality has an important predictive influence on aggression and antisocial behaviour. Using these findings, sports psychologists can identify athletes who are at risk to behave antisocially and with unnecessary aggression. Therefore, using the dark triad to predict and prevent these behaviours may in turn lead to better performance and increased sporting success. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, that's my dissertation project.
Brilliant, Carol. Very well presented. Does anyone have any questions for Karl? Nicole?
Hi, Karl. I really liked your topic. I do have a question about one of the things that you just said.
Yeah.
So you were saying about more research is needed to see if the dark triad is the cause of some of this antisocial behavior. So do you think that these personality traits create this antisocial behavior? Or I actually have kind of two questions on it. Or do you think that the antisocial behavior is part of the trait?
Yeah, so I think it probably stems from the trait. I think people with a personality that's high in the dark triad are more likely to behave like that. But yeah, it's a tough one because it's hard to separate really. But I think if we conducted a longitudinal study, maybe you could try and like test for those effects. I'm not sure, but yeah.
And the second part of my question is, the dark triad is really a spectrum. So you can be high in psychopathy and Machiavellianism, low in narcissism, and it can be any combination of it. Did you look into that, or did you see any kind of patterns? Are people like higher in Machiavellianism or psychopathy more likely to be aggressive and antisocial?
Yeah, so my study basically found that Machiavellianism and psychopathy were the two ones that related more to aggression and antisocial behavior. So narcissism wasn't really that influential on it. So again, another possible study could just be to investigate them, to more maybe focus on them, because it seemed like they were more related to aggression and antisocial behavior in a sporting context. So yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like you have a master's and a PhD research proposal in the making here. So good luck with all that. Very well done.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Well done, Karl. Thank you so much. And we'll pass over to Douglas now. Well done.
Very much. There we go.